Hey everybody, Micheal James. Welcome to my room. Today I'm going to show you behind the scenes look at the way I compose music for film and TV. And we're just going to take a peek at a piece of music that I composed for my friend Alan Farst for a film he made for Cessna.
It's a big world, and it's all yours. Your name is now getting around. From Geneva to Manhattan, your mojo is the talk of the town. You can rock it so much better when you're looking your friend in the eyes. Seize the moment, cause it's right now. You gotta get it jump, cause everybody knows.
So typically the way that we do these things is that his clients, they have an idea of something they want to hear. And in this particular case, you know, they wanted something that was kind of like Pharrell, Portugal the Man. They have a tune called Feel It Still. And what I typically like to do is find the DNA, if somebody's already in love with something, you know, find what I call the DNA of that piece of music and, you know, kind of dissect it and turn it into something that's unique, that's not plagiarized, that could even go so far as to potentially make like an ad campaign. So in this particular case, we wanted an instrumental thing, but we also did make some lyrics that the company can use as a, you know, a marketing thing where we can upsell them, or, you know, they can do something really cool with it. So here's the way I start. Find the video of the tune, take a listen to it. Okay, so what I heard in that is something that has a very throwback 60s kind of feel. You know, bass line that is, well, here, I'll actually just show you. Bass line. How about that? The magic of television, we actually have a bass handy here. So these guys, their bass line is something like this. It has a very distinctive rhythmic figure. And I think that we'll keep that figure, maybe spice it up a little bit, maybe give it a throwback feel to the 60s by palm muting it, which would sound something like this. And there's the idea. And I'll continue listening to this thing and get some more ideas. So there's a falsetto vocal. Okay, now we're going to go ahead in the song just to give you a little bit more of an idea of what else happens with it. I'm assuming there's probably some sort of a backbeat happening at some point. Okay, so basically some of the elements that we have are the falsetto vocal, and we have some hand claps, we have a full-on drum beat as we go on, and we have some horns. So we got the musical DNA of the song, which is basically that, and then we're going to put some horns in there, and you know, something else that feels kind of organic. Maybe instead of electric guitar, we'll use some acoustic guitar. So against this, against that bass line, maybe we'll put some chicka 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 chicka, something 16th note like. And that's kind of a cool chorus and a groove. Something that might be good for a verse. We're going to make this totally different. Again, remember, we don't want to plagiarize. We don't even really want to sound alike or vibe alike, as they call it nowadays. We're going to do something that just kind of feels like that, gives you the happy feeling, or the feel it still feeling, and but make it a unique tune, right? You know, for the verse, we'll probably do something like, you know, that might be a nice thing to go from. And then something based on that, right? Reminds me a little bit of Thomas Dolby. And you know, then we'll flesh this thing out. So let's actually get to work, and I'll show you some of the things that we put into this. Alrighty, so I'm going into Pro Tools now. I'm going to take a listen to some of the bits that we've actually recorded to make a tune feel like that. I'm looking at Pro Tools over there. You guys don't see it, but we'll get a little bit of B-roll so you can see, you know, see what my session looks like. So we'll start with I'll solo a little bit of that bass. Okay, so here's the top bass. All right, sounds a little bit familiar. And then because this may be played on television, you know, little TV speakers, laptops and stuff, I want to reinforce that bass with something. So add a little bit of piano to it. Right, so you hear that and you add the bass. Okay, and then we got a little bit of a groove happening there too. So we get on with the groove, we build up the groove with some more drums. Right, so that right there has the DNA of the other tune. You know, we're starting with, you know, really simple open beat that, again, sounds something like this. So that was the other bass line that I just played on the guitar a minute ago. Now you hear the way that that intro goes into a verse. And then that intro that had that sort of Pharrell kind of feeling will sound like this at the chorus. So some of the things that go into that, you also heard a moment ago, like the acoustic guitar. Remember that? I was using that in lieu of a shaker. And when you add that to the bass, here's the piano version. And here's real bass. Right, and then you put everything together, you get this. And then we have to have some other sections to the song, so we put a little bit of a solo. So you got the idea. It feels very much like the other one. We have to be really careful with the melody too. And you remember I was telling you guys that we want to do something where you can turn it into something bigger than just a piece of music for the client. You know, we want to give them the potential for a marketing campaign. So in this particular case, we're thinking about the storyboard here that Alan Farst gave me, and it's basically Kyle and Samantha Busch. Kyle is the race car driver, and he bought a private jet from Cessna. And, you know, really it helped everything about his business, his life. His wife has a business. They can get to and from places really quickly and maximize time for other things like family and be really efficient. And the thought that I had was, well, that becomes basically time is money. So why not write a song called Time is Money? So we needed to come up with a hook, and remember we wanted that falsetto feel, and this is completely different melody, therefore a different song to, you know, the other one that we just heard. So that would sound something like this. We go to that chorus. Here we go.
Time is money, and you know that money is time. So you better be set to just jump on a jet and be ready to fly on a dime. Time is money, so you can't be waiting around. You spend a few bucks and you triple your luck, and now you're the talk of the town. It's a big world and it's all yours. Your name is now getting around. From Geneva to Manhattan, your mojo is the talk of the town. You can rock it so much better when you're looking your friend in the eyes. Seize the moment cause it's right now. You gotta get a jump cause everybody knows that time is money.
Well, there it is. Under promise, over deliver, exceed expectations. I think that's the way to do it. Served me pretty well in my career. Recommend you guys do it as well. If you have any questions or comments, give me a shout. Let me know your thoughts. We'll see you next time. Ciao.